cold, snowy Friday night, a stretch of Division Street in Grand Rapids appears lifeless. But to a trained eye,
it comes alive. This city comes alive.
You're confronted with a nationwide problem that often goes ignored.
It's like a big game of chess. It is. Everybody's sitting around waiting to see who's going to make what move.
People in West Michigan, oh, that's not here. Prostitution's not here. Are you out of your mind? Of course it's here. I've been in the sex industry myself. I was in for 6 years.
At 19, Annie Donewald dropped out of Western Michigan University and fell into the world of prostitution.
It was supposed to be temporary, but now that I'm making no less than $1,200 in a night, it's like, I can't, what am I gonna do?
You start doing things that you wouldn't think that you would start out doing, you know, for extra money.
In just 6 months, Christine Sheehy went from exotic dancer to prostitute.
And they tip you like $1,000 afterwards, and you're like, well, I guess that was worth it.
For both Annie and Christine, their worth would be measured on another scale.
It's really hard to fake liking what these guys are doing to you if you're sober.
I was using cocaine, I was doing meth, I was drunk every day.
When you're in that lifestyle, you're high. You have to be in order to do the things that's required of you.
And then there's Leslie King.
I didn't say anything. I just did what he said.
Who says at the age of 15, prostitution was forced upon her by a pimp.
He took me, got me dressed me up, and took me on the streets of South Division here in Grand Rapids.
It was the beginning of a career spanning 2 decades with a criminal record just as long. King says she was arrested once a week. The mugshots play out like a slideshow of what she calls a descent into hell.
Then I got a job at the Grand Rapids Police Department. Now that was funny. The same police who chased me for over 20 years. That was hilarious.
But Leslie still hasn't left the streets.
Oh, I know him like the back of my hand. I've been on every corner.
She's out there on the same corner she once worked, but this time looking for girls who are ready for a second chance before it's too late.
You're helping to empower women to help empower others, and that's a big thing.
On that cold Friday night, it took us less than an hour to find one of the women hiding in plain sight. We pull over on Division Street just north of 28th.
What is you doing out here?
Walking.
Walking, going where? It's me.
Hey!
As she does with so many other women, King tries to convince her there's another way of life.
Love you.
Seconds after this embrace, King watches the same woman walk straight into the waiting car of a potential client. But King doesn't give up on her.
There he is.
Coming face to face with the driver. He drives around her, then speeds off with the woman in the passenger seat. King knows there will soon be another chance to save her. When she's not on the street, this is how Leslie King is fighting prostitution. Sacred Beginnings is the name of a nonprofit safe house she runs in the city of Grand Rapids. Her goal is to convince sexually exploited women to come here before they're picked up by police. But even Grand Rapids police often bring women to Leslie for a better shot at change.
Every time they catch a woman, they still call me.
According to the GRPD Vice Unit, there were 110 prostitution-related arrests made in 2012, 79 arrests in 2011, and in 2010, 96 total arrests. Police say prostitution is a consistent problem, full of familiar faces. But Leslie King isn't alone in her fight. Remember the 2 women we introduced you to earlier? Annie Donewald, the former WMU student turned prostitute, now calls on her past to influence a future generation.
You have a team of people here that just loves you right where you are, and we spread the message of hope.
Donewald started her own nonprofit called Eve's Angels. In a way that a prostitute can hide in plain sight, Donewald says she too can find them, and if they're ready, give them a way to step out of the shadows, as was the case for Christine Sheehy.
I became not even my own person anymore. Like, I was basically just something that people could just use, and that was it.
Now, Sheehy says, with the help of Eve's Angels, she's out of the industry for good.
I just graduated college, and I am officially a licensed cosmetologist.
She too is working to find others who are falling into prostitution.
I went through what I went through, and now I can go back and help other people out of what they're going through.